On August 2nd, 2012, 46-year-old Christine Sharp arrived home from her night shift to find out that her granddaughter, 12-year-old Tia, left earlier to meet friends at the mall and hasn't returned, nor is she answering her phone. After night is approaching and her grandmother and step-grandfather still haven't heard back from Tia, they decide to call her mom, Natalie, and make her aware of the situation. After getting in their car and looking for her, at around 10 p.m. they decided to report her missing. Tia's body was found days later. What happened after Tia left her grandmother's house that morning on August 2nd, 2012? Before we get into the case, I feel like it's important to give a quick summary of Tia and her family's past. Tia's father disappeared from Tia's life before she was born. In 2002, when Tia was 2 years old, Natalie, her mother, began dating a man named Stuart Hazel, but this relationship didn't last more than a few weeks. After Natalie and Stuart broke up, Stuart began dating Natalie's mother, aka Tia's grandmother. Tia, her mom, and grandmother were best friends, and after Stuart joined the family, he too became a very loved person by Tia. In 2008, when Tia was 8 years old, Social Security got involved with the family because Natalie was experimenting with drugs. By the time Tia was a preteen, she spent most of her time at her grandma's house along with Stuart, who had been living with Christine for almost 10 years. On August 1st, 2012, Tia called her grandmother to ask her if she could stay over for a few days. After agreeing, Tia packed her bags, and the next morning she arrived at her grandmother's house, although Stuart was the only one there since Christine was still at work from her night shift. After Christine arrived home afternoon, Stuart tells her that Tia left to the mall with some friends, but she hadn't returned. She was also not picking up her phone. After around 6 p.m., Christine calls Natalie to make her aware of the situation. All three of them decided to drive around to see if they can find her walking around. After 10 p.m. came and still no sign of Tia, they decided to report her missing. The first suspect was Stuart. Luckily for Stuart, a neighbor confirmed his story, saying he saw Tia leaving the house at around noon that day. Since she was last seen at her grandparents' house, that was the first place police checked. They found Tia's phone, which was strange since Tia wasn't the type to leave her phone, especially when she was going to meet up with friends. Hundreds of people volunteered to search for Tia. Meanwhile, the police went through hundreds of hours of CCTV footage from all around town as well as the shopping center she was going to, but nothing was found. 55 sightings of Tia were reported, but all were confirmed to not be Tia. The police decided to search Tia's grandparents' house again, but this time with sniffer dogs. Once again, nothing was found. The police told Christine they would be back again the next day, August 10th, and this time bring a forensics team to search the house. On the early morning of August 10th, Stuart woke up early and went out to get the paper. A few minutes later, Christine woke up. As soon as she did, she recalled smelling a foul smell all over the house. She checked the fridge and all over the house, but couldn't find out where the smell was coming from. As soon as the police arrived, Christine let them know about the smell. As soon as the police heard this, they immediately evacuated the house and began searching. The smell was coming from the loft. After searching the loft, they found a body wrapped around a sheet and taped tightly. It was Tia. Tia's body was so decomposed it was impossible to figure out her cause of death, but it is believed she died due to suffocation. After all of this, they all finally realized that hours had gone by and Stuart still hadn't returned. So the search for Stuart immediately began. He was later spotted getting on a train and arriving at a corner store. Police didn't make it on time, but Stuart was then arrested at a park. According to Stuart, Tia had fell down the stairs and died. He freaked out and hid her body. The police searched the house once again, and this time they found an SD card hidden in a doorframe. This SD card contained child pornography as well as strange videos of Tia, such as her sleeping and her rubbing lotion on her legs. The last photo on the SD card was of Tia, lying naked on the bed and was in a sexual position taken from a point of view angle. This SD card belonged to Stewart. After the picture was examined by experts, it was proven that Tia was already dead when this picture was taken. It is believed that Tia denied Stewart causing him to kill her and then doing inappropriate things with her body before hiding it. Stewart pleaded guilty and was sentenced to life in prison. He is currently serving his time at HMP Wakefield, a prison located in Wakefield, West Yorkshire, England. The neighbor was sent to prison for 5 months for lying about seeing Tia leave that day. His reasons are still unknown.